It's week 5, and so it's time to schedule and complete 2 hours of observation in a Star 3 or 4 early care facility and complete your NAEYC disability observation. The purpose of this observation is to learn about the rights of each child to play and learn in an inclusive environment. And we learned all about inclusion this week in our presentation. So you're going to go out into the placement and you're going to see if this placement is up to code for the NAEYC requirements for inclusion. You need to make sure that your facility is a Star 3 or 4 early care facility. This means that you may be in a different facility than you were for our last 2 hours because they were an after-school care facility. You will actually be spending 8 hours in this placement, but you will only be completing 2 hours right now on the NAEYC disability observation. Please do not work ahead and do additional hours until they have been assigned within our coursework. Your first step is to have the teacher at your Star 3 or 4 care facility sign your attendance form, which you can find on D2L, to document that you have spent your 2 hours at the placement. Prior to the visit, I want you to make sure that you have viewed the presentation for this week and you understand what you're looking for. During your 2 hours, remember, you can spend them in 1 or 2 visits. I want you to watch and write down the following things. Number 1, are there any children in the class that are classified as special needs? For example, any children identified as gifted, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum disorder, hearing impairment, visual impairment, physical disability, or developmental delay, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. There was a chart on your text that we looked at the different kinds of delays or special needs a child would need on page 155, and that would be your guide for watching and recording anything that you see. Second, I'd like you to see what adaptations are being made in the physical learning space for the children. So look at the classroom, what adaptations have to be met for this child to succeed physically. The third thing I'd like you to record is what adaptations are made for the child educationally and instructionally. You may need to speak to the teacher in the classroom to get specific details if during your observation time you do not notice individual accommodations being made for the educational or instructional environment of this child. Once you've recorded that information, you want to Dropbox your disability observation form and your teacher attendance form to me by the due date. And the due date for this observation is March 14th. Also, you need to complete one 15-minute snapshot at this placement. And if you remember, that's where you watch for 15 minutes very carefully and take down those objective notes. If you forget how to do that from our last observation, you can review that video on D2L. This also should be put in the Dropbox by that March 14th due date.